Thank you so much. Am I audible po ba? Naririnig po ba ako? Okay, ayan, okay. Good morning po. Thank you very much, Sir R, for that meaningful presentation of this election guidelines. Alam nyo, habang kanina dinidiscuss po yung topic, a lot of questions coming from the comment box. And I think, kung nasundan lang po sana nila kanina yung naumpisahan nila, I guess mas maiintindihan nila. Pero this time, mas maintindihan po ninyo lalo yung ating procedure, okay? Isang mapagpalang umaga po sa inyong lahat. It is my pleasure to welcome you here this morning, and I would like to thank you for joining us today for this general orientation. I am Aldrin Fuentes from Pilar District from Daihagan Integrated School. My discussion has two parts. The first part is about the composition, election qualification, and term of office of SPG and SSG, and the other one is the election procedure. This is a guide for both official candidate and the student voters on the step-by-step procedure of the election this school year, okay? What has been accomplished so far and for today's presentation will help you appreciate the SPG and SSG election procedures. We have our legal basis. If you remember what are the two legal bases that we have, the first one is the DepEd Order number 47, series of 2013, which is the Constitution and Bylaws of the Supreme Pupil Government and the Supreme Student Government in elementary and in secondary schools. And the other one is the DepEd Order number 11, series of 2016, the Guidelines on the Adoption of the Organization and Election of the Supreme Student Government in the integrated schools and standalone senior high schools nationwide for school year 2016 and 2017. Later, I will discuss the specific procedures that will serve as your guide for the entire duration of the election. Part naman po dyan, ayan, umuulan po ng mga puso. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. For our part 1, the composition, election, qualification, and term of office of SSG and SPG. According to DepEd Order number 47, series of 2014, in Article 9, the composition, election, qualifications, and term of office of SPG and SSG of the revised Constitution and Bylaws of the SPG and SSG, wag po natin kakalimutan ang mga nakasaad sa Article 9, okay? Bibigyan din natin yung Section 6, which states that the candidates for all the SPG and SSG elective positions shall, number 1, must be a bona fide learners, of course. How can we identify that they are bona fide learners? Of course, they are already enrolled in their respective grade levels, di ba? Second, must have no failing grade on the previous semester or grading. This time, hindi na po nilagay ng Central Office yung ceiling grade, no? Para po mas ma-attain yung equality ng mga nais na mag-serve sa SSG and SPG, tinanggal po nila yung ceiling grade at nilagay na must have no failing grade. Then of course, must be of good moral character. Siyempre, mas importante pa rin po yung character. Number 4, must have not been subjected to any disciplinary action. And number 5, must have submitted the SPG or the SSG election application packet to be approved by the representative of the SPG and SSG Commission on Elections. Kailangan po kumpleto po yung maisubmit yung mga yon. Okay? Para, don't worry po, hindi po kayo mahihirapan kasi bumaba na po yung guidelines. Makakuha po kayo ng kopya for you to follow this interim guidelines. Okay? For the specific duties naman and functions of each SSG and SPG officers, please refer to Article 10 of the revised Constitution and Bylaws. It is stated there the duties and functions of student government officers. Okay? The SPG and SSG grade level qualifications naman po. Kanina, Sa comment section may nakita po ako na sino-sino ba yung pwedeng mag-run for an office, di ba? You can take a picture or a screenshot of this slide. Anyways, for the SPG and SSG grade level qualification for the position of President and Vice President, the grade level qualifications are, for elementary, grades 4, 5, and 6. Opo, for standalone junior high school naman po, we have grade 9 and 10. And for integrated high school, meron po tayong grade 10, 11, and 12. And for standalone senior high school, meron pong 11 and 12. Okay? For the position of secretary to protocol officer. Ayan. Siguro nagtataka kayo bakit may protocol officer, no? The last composition on election qualification of SSG and SPG dati before, we have 7 major positions. Tama? The president, the vice president, secretary, treasurer, auditor, the public information officer, and the peace officer. Yung last po na peace officer, change po siya sa protocol officer. Okay? Bakit nga ba protocol officer? Medyo iba na rin po kasi yung function as it calls for the new situations. Tama? Kasi nakafocus na po yung sa policy compliance natin. Kaya, paano ba? Pinalitan siya into protocol officer from peace officer in compliance of the policy. Kasi pag peace, it means that it has conflict, di ba? Pero pag protocol, we are somewhat denoting, again, pag peace officer kasi, we are somewhat denoting a conflict or disorder. Since we are under the pandemic, the protocol officer will be used in the revised CBL ng ating YFC sa central office for the interim for the school year 2021-2022. And now let's go back for the position of secretary to protocol officers. The grade level qualifications for elementary, grades 4, 5, and 6. For our standalone junior high school, grades 7, 8, 9, and 10. And for our integrated high school, grade 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And for standalone senior high school, grades 11 and 12. Okay? Naibigay ko na po yung mga grade level qualifications. And for our part 2, the election procedure, this is very simple. These are the step-by-step procedure per activity for our official candidates and student voters. Okay, as you can see, it has been discussed earlier by Sir R. The election procedures from the announcement of election up to the consolidation of election documents. Always remember that these procedures or per activity, there are steps to follow. So madali na lamang po sundan. Ayan po, very clear po. For our election procedures, sa actual voting po, we have two. We have two procedures. One is intended for the manual voting and the other one is intended for the digital voting. Okay? At sasabihin ko po muna yung election procedures sa manual procedures. Okay? Una, kailangan you have to fill out the necessary information in the official ballot. Yes, the official ballot is already prepared by the COMELEC and distributed to the students. Yung kailangan gawin nila is to fill out the information in the official ballot. The second step, you are not allowed to reproduce. Students, sa mga listeners natin sa Facebook Live, you are not allowed to reproduce, replicate, or nor tamper the ballot that you have received. Okay? You're not allowed to replicate. Kasi po magkakaroon po tayo ng problema, magkakaroon po tayo ng sanctions if there is a reproduction and replication of ballots. Okay? Your official ballot naman po will have its serial number. A special serial number intended for each student or for each voter. Okay po ba? Okay. For our number 3 procedure naman, once you have received the election paraphernalia, you are given enough time to carefully review the candidate's plan of action, agenda, and profile. Okay? Ganun din po sa SPG, hindi naman plan of action yung kailangan sa kanila, pero kailangan din po siguro simple statement ng pagpapakilala para mas makilala sila ng mga voters, ng mga estudyante, di ba? Kasi if we would think, para daw boboto yung mga bata sa multo na hindi naman nila kilala, di ba? So, they have these things dapat na mas makilala sila. They have to prepare these forms and then tutulungan, as advisors, dapat tulungan din natin yung mga bata para mas makilala sila ng mga estudyante. Okay? Procedure number 4, after receiving the election paraphernalias and reviewed by all the candidates' plan of action and agenda and profile, you need to follow the instructions by shading the circle corresponding to your choice of vote. Ayan, madali na lang po. Iitiman lang po yung bilog. Okay? And number 5, carefully examine the ballot if you have completed or they have completely casted their votes, and be sure that no parts of the ballot is missed. Okay? So, kailangan para hindi masayang yung boto, ganun yung gagawin. Tayo din mismo, para hindi masayang yung boto natin, di ba? In actual election, kailangan i-review natin yung balota natin. Dapat nalagyan natin ng boto yung mga dapat nating lagyan, so that wala tayong mamimiss. Okay? Number 6, place your ballot in the brown envelope provided. Seal it and submit it on the schedule of submission. Kailan po ba yung schedule of submission? Kailan po ba yung submission? It was discussed by Sir R. It depends on the COMELEC chairman. The schedule of the submission depends on the COMELEC chairman, or it depends on the module retrieval of your respective schools. Okay? And now, let's go to our digital. Before we start, give me a thumbs up po. Ayan. Thank you very much. Our election procedures for digital. Number 1, follow the schedule and time set by the COMELEC on casting your votes. A link will be sent 15 minutes before the start of the elections. So your advisor will provide the link. Okay? The link will be coming from the COMELEC chairman, then ipapasa niya po yan sa inyong mga GCs or sa inyong mismong account. Okay? Step number 2, use only the official email you have given to your class advisor or forwarded to the COMELEC for the purpose of elections. Failure to do so will invalidate your votes. I know na most of you have multiple accounts or email, diba? So please, use the official email that you have given to your class advisor so that we avoid the invalidation of your votes para hindi naman po masayang, okay? No multiple casting of votes is allowed. Always remember that kasi mamomonitor din po yan ng ating mga COMELEC. Okay? And number 3, provide the necessary information in the online official ballot. So it can be in a form of Google form for you to fill in the necessary information in the official ballot. Okay? And number 4, read the instructions carefully and choose your desired candidates per position. All we have to do is to read the instructions. The instructions are very easy and quite understandable naman po. Madali lang po siyang sundan. The number 5, make a copy of your response. Of course, after na ma-fill out nyo yung necessary forms, i-click nyo lang po yung send me a copy of my response. Then the email will be sent to your email directly. This is an evidence that you have casted your votes for the same purposes. Okay? Make also a screenshot once you have submitted the response in order for you to secure that you already voted. Okay po ba? Okay. Next, last natin is wait for the result. That is very easy. Pag digital, all we have to do is to wait for an hour. Then the results will follow after. Okay? Alright, this time naman, I will be discussing the additional guidelines to the revised Supreme Pupil Government and Supreme Student Government Commission on Election Standard Election Code and a Commission on Appointment. Okay? Ano po ba ang COMELEC? First, the COMELEC is the one in charge to conduct a fair, honest, and systematic election. Diba? And it adheres to the standards of the SSG and SPG election code. Okay? So let us proceed to the composition of the COMELEC. For SPG, we have 3 members per grade level. Okay? Pakitandaan po, 3 members per grade level. Grades 4, 5, and 6. For SSG naman, members per grade level in grade 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay? The SPG and the SSG COMELEC this school year shall consist of teachers who are not handling any class advisory. So, ilan po ba yung COMELEC? We have COMELEC chairman and 3 members in SPG and 4 members in SSG. Okay? The COMELEC shall be the only agency that will manage the electoral process of the SPG and SSG. Hindi po pwedeng mag-interfere yung SSG sa SPG, okay? SSG advisor, I mean. The SPG and SSG COMELEC members shall be recommended by the current SPG and SSG advisor and should be approved by the school head. So, ifo-forward po natin ang ating mga recommended members ng COMELEC to the school head. That is composed by the chairman. Then yung chairman na po yung bahalang mamili ng kanyang 3 members. And then the members of the SPG and SSG shall select a chairperson among its members. From the 4, isa po yung chairman and the rest will be the members. The SPG SSG COMELEC chair shall determine the conduct of the manual or virtual elections in classroom and school level elections. So paano po ito? Nakadepende po sa sitwasyon or sa modality ng ating eskwelahan. Okay? It is on the COMELEC side kung ano yung pipiliin niya, kung ano ba yung appropriate sa ating election. Would it be manual or virtual? Next, the SPG and SSG COMELEC shall opt to utilize social media platform to reach and engage more learners regardless of the modality of school elections to be utilized on the election activities. So, paano po ito? Yung COMELEC po, yung gagawa ng social media platforms. For example, when it comes to the, dun sa campaign, mismo po si COMELEC yung magti-take charge para po sa ating campaign. Okay? The SPG and SSG COMELEC chair shall be responsible for the preparation of the school's virtual elections, including its campaign period. Hindi po class advisor, hindi po bata, hindi po parent, kundi ang COMELEC chairman po ang magte-take full responsibility pagdating po sa virtual election. Next, the conduct of whether virtual or manual election for both classroom and school level elections depend on the preference of all learners involved. Dito po, titignan kung ano po ba yung nararapat para sa ating mga learners. Kung manual po, ang pinakamadaling modality, isasabay po yung election paraphernalia sa kanilang mga module. And kung virtual naman po, lahat po dapat virtual. Wala pong dapat maiwan. Hindi po dapat virtual yung iba, hindi po dapat manual yung iba. Aside from the components of the election paraphernalias that serve as the official candidates' primary campaign materials, they can do virtual campaign provided that they follow the rules and regulations set by the COMELEC. So, para po magkaroon ng fair campaign, it is the COMELEC who shall take charge of the online or virtual campaign. Okay? Next, the SPG and the SSG COMELEC shall secure 50% plus 1 rule. Kailangan po 50% plus 1 yung votes na makast, okay, per position. If the count is not achieved, the COMELEC shall proclaim that the candidate with the highest number of votes wins the position. Okay? For small schools naman with 1 or limited sections per grade level, there is only This is for the grade level qualifications. The COMELEC may allow multiple learners from the same section to run for a specific position. Halimbawa, tatlo po yung tatakbo as president sa isang section, pwede po yun kasi isang section lang po sila. Pero kung maraming section, pwede po from the other section. Okay po? A grade level election or appointment of officer shall be decided by the COMELEC. So lahat po ito ay by the COMELEC. Okay po ba? Here we have the following enclosures. So bale, meron po tayong 13 enclosures sa ating interim guidelines. Makikita din po naman natin yan sa ibababang guidelines dito sa atin. Okay? Don't worry po, magkakaroon po kayo ng copies nito. The Youth Formation of the Division Office will send the copy to each GCs for the SSG and SPG. And at this point naman po, allow me to discuss the specific responsibilities of DepEd employees in line with the SPG and SSG elections. So, first one, we have the COMELEC chairperson. The SPG and SSG COMELEC chairperson shall uphold the mandate of the organization. Accordingly, he or she shall put into practice the duties and responsibilities attached to the position as included in the Constitution and bylaws of the SPG and SSG in elementary and secondary schools. Moreover, he or she shall oversee the created additional activities of the COMELEC this school year related to the conduct of the elections, provided that these are approved by the school heads and of course by the Division Youth Formation Coordinator. So ang ating pong COMELEC chairperson, siya po talaga yung magiging aligaga. Okay? Siya po yung utak sa election ngayong taong ito. Next one we have the SGOD chief and the Division YFC, the PDO1. They shall conduct the Division Federation election for the SPG and SSG officers. Okay? And they shall submit to the Youth Division or the Youth Formation Division the result of the Division Federation elections. So the SGOD chief and the Division YFC will work from the word division, sila po yung entitled and bahala po sa ating division election. Next one, we have the regional ESSD chief and the regional youth formation focal person. They shall conduct the election of the regional federation of SPG and SSG officers and shall submit to YFD the result of the regional federation election. Same with the division. From the word itself, regional, the regional ESSD chief and the regional youth formation focal person, sila naman po yung bahala to conduct their regional election and the submission of all the requirements of all the papers in the YFC. Okay? Next one, we have the elected SPG and SSG officers. They shall undergo a parallel school-based training in the basis of leadership, rules, Next one, we have the elected SPG, SSG officers. They shall undergo a parallel school-based training on the basic skills of leadership, roles, functions, and responsibilities of a leader. The newly nominated SPG and SSG advisor shall supervise the implementation of the said training in cooperation with the previous SPG and SSG officers and advisors. So si elected SSG and SPG officers po, para mas lalo po silang ma-enhance, para lalo silang gumaling, kailangan po sila magkaroon ng training. And of course, the SSG, SPG advisor, sila po yung bahala po doon. Next, we have the teacher advisor. Supervise the implementation of the said training in cooperation with the previous SSG, SPG officers and advisors. So hindi ko na po ito elaborate kasi alam naman po natin ito. And last, we have the school head. The school head, upon the proposal of the members of the SPG, SSG Commission on Elections or the COMELEC, with the recommendation of the SPG and SSG COMELEC chairperson, he or she may also issue an additional guidelines on the SPG, SSG Standard Election Code consistent with the revised Constitution and bylaws of the SPG and SSG in elementary and secondary schools to ensure the fair and successful conduct of the elections. So si school head po, since siya po yung nasa field talaga, siya din po yung makakakita, katuwang ni COMELEC chairperson at mga COMELEC, kung sila po yung nakakita kung kailangan po ba may adjust o ano po ba yung kailangan gawin sa mga mangyayaring election. So upon the recommendation of the SPG, the COMELEC chairperson, pwede itong thumbs upan ng ating school head kung kailangan po ba ng ating school. Okay po? Okay, ngayon naman po, I will summarize now our discussion with the use of the flowchart. We have here the SSG, SPG election flowchart. First, we have the announcement of elections. Under the announcement of elections, you have the following. Coordination of the SPG, SSG COMELEC with the class advisors. Next, announcement of the SPG, SSG elections among the class presidents. So yung mga elected presidents po ng bawat class, i-announce po na magkakaroon po ng election. Next, you have the distribution of your election application packets or your EAPs. Second, we have the filing and evaluation of the EAPs. So ano po ba yan? First, you have the submission of the EAP, then the endorsement of the submitted EAP, and of course, we have the evaluation of your EAPs. Third, we have the consolidation and printing of election paraphernalias. So, COMELEC po ulit yung in charge dito sa consolidation and printing of election paraphernalias. Fourth, we have the announcement of the final list of the official candidates and the distribution of election paraphernalias. Fifth, we have the election proper. So, dito na po papasok yung step-by-step pagdating sa ating election. First, we have the start of the elections, followed by the retrieval of the official ballots, canvassing of ballots, and, of course, the consolidation of the canvass votes. Sixth, proclamation of winners. So, natapos na po yung ating election. Ipoproclaim na po yung mga nanalo. Yung mga nanalong officers ng SPG and SSG. We have the validation of the official results, followed by the announcement of the newly elected officers. Seventh, we have the selection and approval of the SSG and SPG advisorship. Okay? Ngayon po, magkakaroon po tayo ng selection. First, election of possible SSG and SPG advisor. Then, followed by the endorsement of the SSG SPG advisorship to the SDS. Then, ifo-forward na po yung mga napili or recommended ng school head, ifo-forward niya po sa ating SDS. Then, next, approval and the issuance of the SSG SPG designation, advisor designation. Hindi po katulad dati, yung SSG SPG advisors natin are school-based. Ngayon po, magkakaroon na po ng issuance ng designation ng advisor from the office of the SDS. Okay? Followed by the oath-taking. Ano po ba yung oath-taking? First, we have the distribution of the oath-taking form dun po sa mga nanalong newly elected officers. Then we have the retrieval of the accomplished oath-taking forms. Next, we have the consolidation of election documents. So lahat po ng nagamit ng mga election paraphernalias, kailangan po isurrender or i-collect po ng COMELEC. So before I end, I would like to have a shout out to my fellow advisors in Pilar District, headed by the SPG Federation in Pilar District, headed by Sir Ani. Thank you very much po. With that, I hope you learned from me. Again, thank you very much for listening, and thank you.